I find spring games to be awesome and also incredibly frustrating in the same vein, right? Because you'll see a dude later in the game, like they had a walk-on running back that came in later in the game and just really did some nice things. But is he going to be factoring in, when we get to the fall? The freshman Javonte Barnes, the running back, was, I think, the guy that wowed so many people. Kind of a first guy off the bus kind of a build. Looked the part. We Kennedy Brooks set all kinds of records, but Kennedy Brooks isn't a guy that we're going to be talking about on Thursday going in the NFL draft in the first round. So they wanted to get back to having, even we can debate about first round running backs, Colts we're blue in the face. But they wanted one of those guys that's capable of doing something like that. Javonte Barnes looked the part. Dylan Gabriel looks very smooth. This tempo that they're going to play with, and that they played with at times on Saturday, is different than what we've seen the last few years. It's very similar to what, Kevin Wilson ran here. So fans and people that follow the team are familiar with it, but what Jeff Levy's doing with this offense and bringing in a quarterback that's already pretty familiar with it, I mean, obviously that makes it a little bit easier. They've got some dudes that are playing well. Marcus Stripling on the defensive line looks like he's really embraced what's being taught on that defensive line from Todd Bates and Miguel Chavis, and obviously at the whole core of it, Brent Venables. Their safety play, which was erratic at times last year, looked really good with the sophomore Billy Bowman and Key Lawrence out there. But, Cole, I know what we got to get to here. We got to get to the O-line, and that's really the hard thing to figure out because you had them split between two teams. Bill Bedenbow told us on Thursday that there's 4 guys he's really confident with, and you don't know where those 4 guys are and how they were split up amongst teams, but there's some work that still needs to be done on the offensive line. But they had some skill guys shine. I mentioned Barnes. Jaden Gibson, a young freshman wide receiver, looked good. Theo Weiss feels like he's been in school for about 20 years. He looked really good, finally getting an opportunity. And they've got some good young linebackers in the transfer, T.D. Roof and Danny Stutzman, who played real well. So there were but again, I think this comes back to, okay, what's this O-line going to look like? Because I think for most people, and it's hard to tell, at a spring game, that's where the big question came out of Saturday.